Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with a new topic, that is the electronic mail. All of you are familiar with this electronic mail, or you are going to call it as an email, so that every day you are going to use it in your life. That is to send a mail from one place to the another. Electronic mail, or more commonly email, has been around for over 3 decades. So it is faster and cheaper than the paper mail. Email has been a popular application since the early days of the internet. It is before 1990. It was mostly used in the academia. During the 1990s, it became known to the public at a large and grew exponentially to the point where the number of emails sent per day now is vastly more than the number of the snail mails, are called as a paper letters. It is a very informal and has a low threshold of use. Many people also use a little ASCII symbols called smileys. The multimedia capabilities become important in 1990s to send messages with the images and other non-text materials. Not only are going to sending only the emails with the ASCII characters or the text or with the smileys, okay, and you are going to send the messages with the images and other non-text materials also. Now if you are going to see, this is about the introduction of the email. If you wanted to study about an architecture of the email, so here it is a one of that is a sequence of that the mail gateways store and forward email messages, how these mails are going to be forwarded from a source to the destination. Now if you are going to look into this particular the diagram here, is it clear? So now here you are going to see that the protocol here which is used to transfer the message from one host to the another host is a SMTP. Is it clear? That is, to place a SMTP in the right context, we need to identify the key players. So in this diagram, you are going to see two things. One is a mail reader is there, another one is a mail daemon is there. So what is the use of this particular the mail reader? Okay, so that is, user is going to be interact with this mail reader. So whenever he is going to compose the mail, searching the mail, or reading these particular the emails. Okay, so there are countless mail readers are going to be available. You can use any one of that particular mail readers for composing your mail, for searching the existing mail, for reading the mails. Is it clear? For any other the things whatever nowadays you people are going to do with the help of these particular the readers, mail readers. Okay, and just like there are many web browsers to choose from. Is it clear? So in fact most of the web browsers now include a mail reader also. Through the web browsers also, in you people are able to access, that is, normally people are going for Gmail, okay, hotmails, rediff mails, all these things are there. So in the earlier we are going to install that one mail reader called as a Microsoft Outlook. So with the help of that particular the agent, we people are able to compose, read, okay, and do other things. Okay, so nowadays instead of that we can take a help of that browser. So with the help of that browser also, now you are going to include a mail reader. Okay, so that is the simple example. With the help of the browser, nowadays people are going to be logging in any the mail server, that is using the Gmail, or either it may be the Rediff mail, or either it may be the Hotmail. So this is also one of the thing, that is the mail reader, that is how it has been advanced. The most of the web browsers now include a mail reader. Second, there is another one process, that is we call it as a mail daemon. Mail daemon or nothing but a process which is running on a each host. Okay, now you can think of this process as playing the role of a post office. So what is the job of this particular the mail domain, or the mail daemon, or the process which is running on the east host? Okay, so mail readers is going to give the daemon message they wanted to send, okay, to the users. So you are going to compose the mail with the help of the mail reader, and then you are submitting it to the mail daemon, that is to the process. So this mail this what it is going to do, it is going to use the SMTP running over the TCP connection to transfer this message to the daemon or the process, okay, which is running on another machine. and this particular the daemon puts incoming messages into the user mailbox. Okay, where the user mail reader can later find it. Since the SMTP is a protocol that anyone could implement, in theory it could be many different implementations of the mail daemon. Okay, now we are going to see it here. This is the thing here what you have been seen, that mail reader is going to write the mail, and so it is going to submit it to the mail daemon, and it is responsible for transferring that the mail, okay, with the help of the SMTP and through the TCP connection. So in between you are having a number of that gateways are going to be available. Is it clear? So mail gateways are going to be available. Okay, so that is a mail traverses one or more mail gateways on its route from the sender host to the receiver host. Like the end host, these gateways also run a send mail processes. Each that in between mail gateways, they are also having the process which is running over there, that is the mail time process is running. So they are responsible for receiving this mail from uh, uh, the network, and then they are going to store it into the database, and then they are going to forward it to the next mail gateway. Okay, it is not an accident that these intermediate nodes are called a gateway, since the job is to store and forward the emails. What is the job of these gateways? The job of this particular gateway is to store and forward email messages, much like an IP gateway. As you know that in between the routers which they are going to store and forward the IP datagrams, and similarly it is going to store and forward the email messages. These mail gateways are going to store and forward the uh, email messages. The only difference, okay, is that a mail gateway typically buffers the messages on the disks and willing to try to retransmit them to the next machine for several days. Okay, so this is how you are going to transfer this particular the mail from source to the destination. Is it clear? Now the next one here, it is that the final step is for the user to actually retrieve the message from the mailbox, to read them or to reply to them, and possibly save a copy for further reference. The user performs these actions interacting with the mail reader. Okay, that is on the receiver's machine also you are having a mail reader will be there. On the receiver machine also you are having that mail daemon. The process is running over there. Okay, so this reader is just a program on the same machine as the user mailbox resides. Okay, in which case it simply reads and writes the file that implements the mailbox. Okay, now the user accesses a mailbox from a remote machine. Even the user is able to access the mailbox from a remote machine, okay, where it has been stored it in a server. So with the help of this, how you are going to access? By using the protocols such as the POP, post office protocol, or the internet message access protocol. With the help of this, the reader is going to read his mails from a remote machine. Is it clear? So IMAP is similar to the SMTP in many ways. It is a client server protocol running over the TCP. Okay, now this is an overall idea about this particular the mail. So now if you are going to see in detail about this particular the diagram, okay, this is the same diagram how you are going to be representing. It is going to do the three jobs here. The first one here, you have to write the mail and then you have to submit, that is the mail submission has to be done. Next one, it has to be transferred here, as already I have told, that is a mail daemon or the process which is responsible for transfer of this message with the help of the SMTP over the TCP connection. Okay, so this is the message transfer has to be done, and last one is the final delivery, that the recipient should able to read the mail or to receive the mail. Okay, now if you see this, there is the three jobs: so mail submission, mail transfer, and next one is the final delivery. These are the three jobs are going to be done it here. Now as I told already, the mail reader is nothing but here you are going to be call it as the user agent, which is running on each host machine. Okay, with the help of this user agent. Is it clear? What do you mean by user agent? It is nothing but it is a program that provides a graphical interface, okay, or sometimes a text and a command based interfaces will be there that let the user is going to be interact with the email system. It includes a means to compose the message and reply to the message, display the incoming messages, organize the messages by filling, searching, discarding them. Is it clear? The act of sending a new messages into the mail system for delivery is called the mail submission. So now, as I've seen it in the previous diagram, you are having the mail reader. So already here you can use the mail agent as a in between, that is the program which you are going to install, the software which you are going to use, as I given the example as a Microsoft Outlook, or still others are also there. Okay, so as I told already, there are countless mail readers are going to be available, or you can use the web browsers also. So nowadays the web browsers also include mail readers. With the help of that also, you people are able to access the mails and all. So this is the one. Here there is a user agent to the job which is going to be done. Okay, so in the diagram where we are going to return it as a mail reader and all. Okay, it will help you to compose the message, reply to the message, displaying the incoming message. Okay, organize the messages and all. The now the next one, what you are going to do, you are going to compose it and then you are going to sending this to the mail demon. That is what you are going to be called as the mail submission. Okay, so this mail demon, or the process which is running over there, it is going to transfer this mail with the help of the SMTP protocol, with the help of the TCP connection. So this is, here I am going to call it as a message transfer agent. Okay, a message transfer agent are typically the system process, as I already told, the mail demon or the process. Okay, so they run in the background, and the mail server machines and the host are intended to be always available. What is the job? The job is to automatically move email through the system from the originator to the recipient. See here, what is the job of this message transfer agent, or this we call it as a mail daemon or the mail process? That is to automatically, okay, automatically move this email through the system, okay, from the originator to the recipient with the protocol SMTP using a TCP connection. What do you mean by SMTP? So this is the protocol which is used for transmission of the mail. That is a simple mail transfer protocol. Okay, this, the message transfer step, message transfer agents also implement mailing lists. Is it clear? In which an identical copy of a message is delivered to everyone on the list of email addresses. Is it clear? So as I already explained, in the similarly you may have in between the number of these gateways are there. So there also you are having this mail daemon or the process which is going to be running over there. Okay, so now this is the responsible for transmission of this particular message to reach to the recipient. Okay, if more number of recipients are there, identical copy of this message is delivered to the everyone on the list of a email address. Okay, now the next one, the last one job here which we are going to see, that is the final delivery. Okay, so what do you mean by the final delivery? As I already told, okay, the receiver has to receive this. So in the final delivery, this target, one user may use a different user agents on the multiple computer to access one mailbox. One of the main protocol here, we people are going to using it here for a final delivery is the IMAP. As I already told about that, either you can go for the POP, that is the post office protocol, or the internet message access protocol, IMAP. With the help of this, you can connect it to the mailbox from a remote machine. Okay, so you are connecting to the remote machine and you are going to access the mailbox using these particular protocols, either POP or the internet message access protocols. To use IMAP, so here the mail servers run an IMAP server, okay, that listens to the port number 143. So now the user agents runs an IMAP client. So on the receiving machine, okay, so the user, what they are going to do, they are going to run an IMAP client. Now this client is going to be connecting to the server. Okay, it is connecting to the IMAP server. IMAP client is now connecting to the IMAP server and begin to issue the commands. There are many commands are there to list the folder, okay, and the list the messages, fetch the messages, or even a part of the messages, mark the messages with the flags. Okay, for the later deletion, organize the messages into the folders. Okay, one user thus has a many IMAP mailbox. each of which is typically presented to the user as a folder. So now if you see, okay, IMAP is an improvement over a earlier final delivery protocol, that is a POP3. Is it clear? IMAP is an improvement over an earlier final delivery protocol, that is POP3, Post Office Protocol version 3. So what are the V4 commands we people are going to be used? So we are going to be used for login onto the server, selecting a folder, create a folder, delete a folder, rename a folder, check, get a checkpoint of a folder, fetch, get messages from a folder, search, find messages in a folder, store, alter message flags, log out, and closing the connection. Is it clear? So these are all the different types of these particular IMAP4 commands are there. So this is the job of the final delivery. Is it clear? So where the message is going to be finally accessed by the end user or by the recipient with the help of this particular the protocol. So three jobs: one is the mail submission, mail transfer, final delivery. As I have already explained this with this particular diagram sequence of how it is going to transported. The mail reader is nothing but we are going to call it as a user agents. Mail daemon will be there. Okay, this is the process. Okay, it is a one of the process which is going to be uh, running over there. Okay, so this is with the help of the SMTP and with the TCP connection, it is responsible for transfer of the uh, the message. Okay, in between you are having more number of that gateways are also going to be available. Okay, so these gateways are responsible for store and forward of these particular email messages. Okay, so the next one we are going to see about the MIME. Is it clear? So what do you mean by MIME? The multi-purpose internet mail extensions. Is it clear? So the basic idea of MIME is to continue to use the RFC 822 format and define the encoding rules for the transfer of a non-ASCII images. Is it clear? Now we are going to see why this MIME has been introduced and all. Okay. So in the 1990s, the worldwide use of the internet and demand to send richer content through the mail systems, that this approach was no longer adequate. The problem includes sending and receiving a message in language with the accents in a French, German, or we call it as a non-Latin alphabets. Okay, or a non alphabets, example Chinese or a Japanese, as well as sending a messages not containing text. Okay, as along with that they want to send audio, images, binary documents, and programs. Now how you are going to send this? What is the solution for this? Okay, instead of sending the normal text, along with that you have to send in a non-alphabetic, is it clear, non-Latin alphabets you have to be sent. Okay, and along with that you may be able to send audio, images, so either it may be the binary documents or a program. The solution for this was developed by using the MIME. Okay, the solution was the development of MIME, multi-purpose internet mail extension. It is widely used for the mail messages that are sent across the internet, as well as to describe the content for other applications such as web browsing. MIME, which is described in the RFC series, is 2045474288 4289 and 2049. Is it clear? As I told already, the basic idea of MIME is to continue to use the RFC 822 formats and define the encoding rules for transfer of non-ASCII messages. Is it clear? Now the MIME defines 5 new message headers. Okay, it is going to define the MIME version, content description, that is a human readable string telling what is in the message. Is it clear? Content ID is there, that is a unique identifier. The header identifies the content. The next one is a content transfer encoding will be done here. Okay, So MIME, here it is in this, how the body is going to be wrapped for a transmission through the network. Okay, so ASCII encoding for binary data is called base 64 encoding is used in this scheme. Group of 24 bits are broken up into the 4 6-bit units, with each unit being sent a legal ASCII character. Okay, we are going to using the base 64 encoding method. In this, they are going to, in this screen, that is a group of 24 bits are broken. Is it clear? That is a group of 24 bits are broken into the 4 6-bit units. Is it clear? So each unit is sent legally as ASCII character. Okay, the coding is A for 0, say for example B for 1, and so on. Okay, so content type. Okay, this header content type, that is a type and format of the content it is going to give. Either the type may be the text, image, audio, or a video. Is it clear? So this is all about this particular the MIME and the different types of the headers which you are going to use. MIME version, content description, content ID, content transfer encoding, and the content the type. Is it clear? So this is all about the email. Okay, so thank you very much.